Tropical storm Barry made landfall as a hurricane early this afternoon near Marsh Island and Intracoastal City, Louisiana. Barry is a rather odd, lopsided storm due to a combination of high northerly wind shear and a drier air blowing over its center. This is very significant because the dry air and high vertical wind shear prevented Barry from developing into a significant hurricane. Barry became a hurricane briefly only 2 hours before landfall while meandering off the coast of Louisiana. Barry was a disorganized storm as it descended into the Gulf of Mexico and struggled with the dry air and high vertical wind shear from the Saharan Dust plume. Things could be a lot worse had Barry intensified into a more powerful hurricane. We all sat back to watch an uncertain outcome. The fight for intensity was on. The Saharan Dust plume from Africa, the yellow and reddish areas in the satellite image just north of the Gulf, brought in high vertical wind shear and dry air and has been fighting Tropical Storm Barry on another front for the last 4 days. Saharan air is very dry, therefore when tropical waves roll off the coast of Africa, they take in this very dry air and oftentimes storms fall apart. The increased vertical wind shear and decreased low-level vorticity and potential intensity by dust inhibits tropical cyclone formation in the Genesis region. There was no doubt that this was a large storm, but it never really organized into a much larger threat like Hurricane Michael. You can see the convection of the thunderstorms and rain as the storm sat off the coast meandering and fighting with the dry air and high vertical wind shear. However, as of July 13, 2019, at 23:51 UTC, the thunderstorms are diminishing from what they were prior to landfall. Now that the storm is no longer being fueled by the very warm sea surface temperatures of the Gulf of Mexico, the dry air and high vertical wind shear can be more effective in the fight to diminish the harsh effects of this storm. We wish to send a big shout out of thanks for all the hard work in providing data and satellite images around the clock from the Cooperative Institute for Meteorological Satellite Studies of the University of Wisconsin-Madison, as well as the thousands of subscribers that emailed our newsroom with information and prayers that Mother Nature continue the fight. Currently, Barry's coordinates are latitude 38.3 degrees north and longitude 84.1 degrees west, and moves northward. Heavy rain bands continue to move ashore along parts of the Gulf Coast from southeast Louisiana to southern Mississippi and Alabama. Flash flood watches are in effect for the entire lower Mississippi Valley, including parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, and the western Florida Panhandle and Missouri. Storm surge watches are in effect from Biloxi, Mississippi to the Mississippi-Alabama border. A watch means life-threatening inundation is possible within that area. Tropical storm warnings have been issued in much of the southern and central Louisiana region, but for now, the Saharan Dust plume continues to bring dry air and high vertical wind shear and continue to do battle with this storm to help diminish the heavy rain and flooding making its way up north. HVN meteorologists will continue to track hurricanes, cyclones, and severe storms, so please click on the subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner and bell for notification of new video updates.